what we'll talk about, as we have been for the last few weeks, is what to do next and other unanswerable questions with sound effects. It is week 7. Is that 7? Yes, it's week 7. Thank you so much for joining me again. It's been a crazy, crazy time. Look, how are you this week? It's been a really confronting time. There's been some really tricky situations in the world. And I don't want to make light of that, but I do want to let you know that I'm with you, whatever you're going through right now. We're sending messages of hope. I guess the only thing I can say is stay safe, be true to yourself, be aware, be informed, and keep joining me every week, because this is about keeping your spirits up, being empowered, and not losing hope. We're not here to kiss spiders, are we? Nice little Aussie phrase there, which I have made PG-10. So welcome. Oh, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Yana Groves. I am a TV producer. I've made predominantly unscripted formats. So shows like My Kitchen Rules, Celebrity Apprentice, MasterChef, Bachelor in Paradise. I've worked for the BBC as a journalist. I've had my own radio show. I'm also a trainer and a mentor. And as you probably know, a keen oyster farmer. Anyway, what have we got on the show today? What have we got on the show? Lots of good stuff, of course. We have, oh my gosh, we have an incredible guest, an ex-cop who went into hot pursuit of a TV passion. He'll be here, hopefully without the handcuffs. We have, over the last 7 weeks, talked to incredible industry experts. He's one of them. He blows my brain. Anyway, we'll talk to him in a minute. If you've missed the last few weeks, let me just recap what we've talked about and who we've spoken to. Incredible executives, people who have changed the industry because they're good guys. They're the good guys. Jasmine Parkinson, TVCV founder and reality TV goddess. Angie Greaves, the UK's smoothest radio presenter. Alex Mavrodakis, supervising executive producer at ITV Studios. Boom. Janine Cooper, executive producer and godmother of gargantuan content. So, look, all we're doing here is to give you a little bit of hope, a little bit of G-up to make it through these troubled times. There's no point talking through all the despair that is in the world today. Not now. We've got half an hour of joy, of fun, of banter. It's time to speak to today's guest, the very fabulous, the very beautiful, Lindsay Vine.
Hello.
Wait, I'll give you
Hi,
a
Yana.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Yana. How are you?
I'm fabulous, darling. Thank you so much for joining us and taking time out in your very busy day to talk to us.
Not busy, Yana. I'm doing nothing.
Are you doing nothing?
No, I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm in Singapore right now. We've got the circuit break, as the government here likes to call it. So essentially a lockdown light. And my 2-year-old daughter is just gone down to sleep. I've got a nice little bit of time to talk to you. First adult engagement of the day. I could stay around for longer, but this is good for me.
Well, look, I can't guarantee this won't be childish because I know that you and I have that temperament. We like a bit of childish banter. So it's okay. I'm not going to judge you.
Oh, well, thanks very much. And I know, you talk to me and give me your warnings before we talk. And I know I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm not going to say shit, fuck, or continue.
What? Hey, whoa. Oh, my God. There are some guests. All right, that's your final warning, copper.
Oh, Yana. Okay, I'm very sorry. That's the last I will swear, I promise you.
Okay, good. Thank God. So sorry, everybody. Sorry about that. Okay, look, I want to to talk to you about the mean streets of TV. I need to ask you a question. As an ex-copper, which industry is more treacherous?
You know what? Without a doubt, it's TV, simply because they don't provide you with Kevlar vests. With the police, you've got at least some batons and spray that you can defend yourself with. But yeah, TV's mean. It can be really mean. I prefer the safety of the police.
Oh, wow. Well, I think especially now people are finding it not only tricky but quite terrifying. People have lost their jobs. People don't know what's next. How have you found it?
Yeah, not bad actually. I've been freelancing for the last year. Just to give you a background, because I love to talk about myself, Yana. So yeah, I was a cop, and that was back in 2011 that I left it. Am I jumping the gun? Should I just go?
Just go, baby. Just go. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, so yeah, before 2011, let me take you back to 2006. Don't worry, I know we've got 30
We
minutes.
could be here for quite some time.
Yeah, so 2006, my dad died, and it was a very sad time. But then it kind of made me realize that things weren't right in life. I wasn't too happy. I'd never done all the things I wanted to do. So I thought, oh, screw it, I'll go traveling the world. And then I didn't really know what I was going to do while I was traveling the world because, I'm Scottish. We would just drink and not remember any of it. So I came up with an idea of putting my life on the line. I came up with an idea called 101 Challenges and let the global public decide where I went and what I did. And that got made into a TV show completely by fluke, by complete accident. And I traveled the world for free. So I went back to Scotland, went back into the police for a few years. During the time, maybe very important to mention that whilst I was traveling, I met my now wife. At the time, she wasn't. That would have been really weird.
That would have been very strange, yes.
Strange, yeah. So she came to Scotland. She's from Australia. That's why we're talking. She came to Scotland. It's cold. It's miserable. It's grey. I left the police. I got offered a job in Singapore to write and develop TV production programs, which again was completely by luck. And here we are in Middle Earth, where Scotland and Australia are, completely awkward for both members of the family to meet us or the grandkids. So yes, what was the question?
See, I knew. Thank you, Deb Davis, for saying yes. We could be here for a very long time, she says. And I know you like being here, Deb. But by the way, we'll make it entertaining. Anyway, so yes, what made you want? I know you had that sort of change in life. There was a catalyst that pushed you into a creative world. You've made some incredible formats. Tell us a little bit about those.
All right. Okay. So, yes, the change of career. That was what the question was before I could jump back. More money and less hours. I genuinely thought that it would be better paid and less work than the police, and I was completely wrong. So that was naive and stupid. Now to the formats. I should have started with that. Okay, so some of the formats I've come up with, I always write formats however my personal life is going. I got a dog. His name is Gordon. He's in the background doing nothing. So all the ideas I was writing for maybe 3 or 4 months were vet programs or animal rescue programs. When I was getting clucky about having kids, I wrote pregnancy programs. So I came up with an idea called Man Birth, and it was basically, are you man enough to be pregnant? I wanted men to see what it was like to go through the physical and mental challenges that a woman does when she's having a baby. And that aired in Singapore. It done okay. The government here really wants every program to be very educational and tick a lot of boxes. So the humor was kind of killed a little bit, but it sold to China, and it debuted at #1 in Beijing TV, and that in turn got it into Vietnam, and it has over 75 million views on YouTube, which is a lovely success story.
It's amazing. That's one thing I want to touch on. You are operating out of Singapore, one of the Asian hubs. So the formats you're creating are for massive, massive numbers, correct?
Yeah, massive viewers, but not massive budgets. So that's a lot of people get that kind of, China is the big market, then, it's the Shangri-La, so to speak. viewership is fantastic, and that's great for your ego. You can get a lot of people watching your programs, watching your babies. But the money that you have to work to here is a completely different story. And I mean, you're talking maybe $40,000 to $60,000 per hour.
Yeah, that's tricky, because how do you create top-notch quality on a budget?
You bring in a Scotsman. If there's someone that can stretch a dime, it's me.
Yes, counting those pennies. Love a stereotype on this show, obviously.
Oh yes.
Fantastic. Do you feel like this COVID situation will change the way we create formats?
See, it's funny. I was talking to my wife before I came onto this call, and she said, "You got to say something positive." Shut up. So COVID, what we decided that I was going to say was that essentially this should in turn spurn a lot of executives to really inject a lot of love and laughter back into the world. So yes, it could potentially be a great opportunity to bring really crazy formats, really good fun content to the world. But I think the sad truth is, Yana, sorry, these earphones are really bad. I think the sad truth is there's going to be such a backlog that production this year is going to be all the things that should have happened last year, and that's going to have a domino effect. And I think the sad truth is that, there's going to be a little bit of a delay before new ideas are taken. Everybody's going to be safely, productions could get shut down in 3 months or 6 months if another pandemic or another wave happens. I'm not a doctor or a physician or...
Well, you do look a little bit like a doctor with the headphones.
Oh, God, it sounds like it. I think that right now, is it going to change? I sadly don't think it will. I think people are still going to be scared to take any risk. Executives were certainly afraid to do big risky projects before the pandemic. Sorry to be so doom and gloom. So I think right now, if you're a format creator or interested in formats, is just keep writing what you know best or what turns you on and floats your boat until the time comes when people start saying, yeah, let's try something new. I just don't think that those doors have opened yet where people will start taking any kind of risk, especially when we're in such an uncertain time.
Such an uncertain I know. It's hard to stay positive. It's really hard to stay positive. I think there are so many stories of productions being shut down, jobs being lost, people struggling day to day, being lonely, being alone, and then unrest. We're dealing with a lot as a humanity. But again, flipping that into something positive, you've been focusing quite a bit on kids' formats. Can we have a look at some of your little snippets?
Oh, yes. Okay, so do you have my screen there? I can't see what's going on.
I've got you. I think you've got it highlighted, so it's blue.
Oh, like that.
There you go.
All right. Okay. So let me just show. All right. Yes. So, like I said, when we got a dog, we wrote about dog things, and then babies was baby things. And what I've realised of late is, I think the best way to make a good format is to write about something that you're passionate about. So 1 year you might write about cars, or next year you might write game shows. It will always change, and that's the best place to write from, close to heart. So here, you just want me to talk you through the process that I come up with?
I think it's just, I think people ask me quite often how to, and actually I create, and you've worked with me on a couple of formats that we've developed. I think this picture sums it up. It's about feeling. You're conveying a feeling here, and you can get a sense of what this show will be from that front page, right?
Well, hopefully. So this is a horror series. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
So this is okay. So kids formats. Okay, how kids formats are really, really simple. You just watch a kid watching TV. If they're like a zombie, it's a shit format. If they're smiling and dancing and waving their hands and laughing, that's what you want to create. That's where the money is, the magic is. Okay. So this is make yourself at home. I'll just tell you how I quickly do a format.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like there's a 5-point process that I always follow. I just tweak it. So if you've watched any crime scenes ever before, The detective always covers a wall in a basement with pictures of suspects and places and connects them all together with red wool. That's exactly how my brain works when I'm creating a format. And like I said, it's a 5-point process. Always start with the concept. And the best tips I can give here are just write anything and everything that ever comes into your brain. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, have a bit of paper there or your phone and type it in, because the worst thing that can ever happen to someone in the creative industry is that you forget a brilliant idea. And it happens a lot. So always write something down. So this is make yourself at home. I've been watching a lot of Play School recently with my daughter.
I used to love Play School.
Yeah, it's unbelievable because she'll dance to it. She'll grab a little miniature ukulele and pretend to sing along with the songs, and she'll have a lot of fun. She's engaged and she's excited, and it's just joy to watch. So start with this is make yourself at home. Basically, this is Justine Clark. Eventually, her agent said she wasn't interested because she was busy, but it's still a great. It's a great starting point. It gets people, executives going, oh, I can picture someone else doing this.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to have your talent, quote unquote, locked in.
No, you know what? Have an idea and always speak to the talent. So yes, point number one, just start with the concept, write everything down. Another point is, yes, always attach talent. The channel or network that you're pitching to will always, most definitely always change that talent to someone that is a flavor of the month or someone that they particularly like. But at least it lets them, give them a sense of how the show would look, sound, and feel. So always attach talent, and it also gives you a little profile page. There you go. I've got one here, Justine Clark. She's great and amazing, blah, blah, blah. The next thing that I always do in the 5-point process is an episode, sample episode, like episode guideline, where I show exactly how the acts will break down and what's in them. To do that, though, see, hold on, so this is like, element of the show is the kid shows the host around her home. The kid shows Justine her favorite food. They make it together. The kid takes Justine to their favorite place, and then at the end of the day, they create some arts and crafts about it. It's silly, it's simple, but it's genuine. Okay, there's a favorite reading book. But what I do is another part of the 5-point process is I always show an episode breakdown so that an executive can see exactly how this all fits into a 1.5-hour show or a 1:45 or a 160-minute show, and then that in turn lets you, when you're creating your concept and see it's all interconnected and creating your sample episode, it makes you realize I can't do that. I really want to, but that would take 8 minutes and I only have 2. But if I stretch this part, I can have 2.5. And if I lose this part, I can have 3.5. And it's just kind of, bringing everything together. It's a bloody mess.
Don't do that again.
I know. It's a mess, but it all comes together nicely, okay? And then, like I say, with the formats that I always come up on, the decks that we've worked on together, you've got to make them look good. We work in a visual industry. Nobody's going to read a 67-page Word doc. Nobody comes into their office and says, you know what, can't wait to get through this stack of pitches today. They want something that's short, sharp, sweet, and sexy. Yeah. And there's a saying that if
a little bit like me.
Sorry?
A little bit like me. Short, sharp, sweet. No. Okay. All right. Moving on. Moving on. As you were. So
if you can't dazzle with your brilliance, baffle with your bullshit. And this is what I try to do in every single pitch. But it's always the same formula. And say thank you at the end. Just one here that just kind of catches you. I'll show you. I'll just skim through it, not too fast though. But when we just had Ivy, I thought, we can do a lot of sponsor-driven shows here, and we could do a game show on parenting, whether you're a parent or not. But without even looking at the words, here's just a visual representation of, a guy struggling with a baby, changing a nappy. What's this? It's for 2 different types of people, naive newbies and pro parents. Alliteration is always good. Potential hosts. I love the Kates. I think they're absolutely fantastic.
I've got
a man crush like everybody else on Hamish and Andy. It's set in a studio. So, this is going to be cheaper than out and about. Here is our episode guideline. Okay, we've got 5 games, blah, 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 right? Episode breakdown. Oh, so this is how it looks. We've got 2 games in the first act, great. 2 in the second, and a big massive hook in the third final act. And then sample games. Okay, Lego landmine. It's running on Lego on a treadmill. Cheerio, the Cheerio challenge. Let's see how many Cheerios we can stack on a sleeping baby's head. I can't remember this one. I think it was get as much paint off as you can with a single Kleenex in one sponsored game. Take a cold bath for as long as you can. Change a nappy on a sumo wrestler. Build a house of cards with a toddler in front of you and see how high you can get in the 1 minute time limit. Braid a kid's hair. Tricycle challenge. So again, it's just making everything very visual so that it's a joy to watch. That's it. And again,
okay, bye-bye. Thank you so much. But no, I'm joking. That was, listen, this is so invaluable because we hear about what a format should look like. If we're lucky, we get a treatment in our hands to work off. But to have these insights is absolutely invaluable, I'm sure. And we've got lots of comments here. My gosh, let's see who we've got.
Slow down, probably.
We have for the 5-point process, Alex in the UK, one of the world's premium voice-over artists, Alex Babick. So nice to hear. He says it's true. I have a pad and pen by my bed. I list ideas because I thought I'd remember them in the morning. I didn't. That happens. Now, Mike Goldman wants to know, is it easier to sell your show if you're Scottish?
Do you know what? I think this is where the police helped me, that I'm comfortable talking in front of people. And I think you just, wine helps.
Wine always helps.
I'm in Asia, so already I stand out, I'm the white, hairy guy. Everybody here is small, a little bit of better complexion, and, quieter. I'm loud. And going into a room, it's kind of like, holy hell, Yana, holy hell, what is this? So it's kind of like a whirlwind coming in. But I have to make sure that as I get excited about my projects or my formats, my my words per minute kind of goes up. So it's like, hey, parents and donkey! And that kind of confuses a lot of people. It also scares them into going, well, this guy must be talking about something great. Let's see what he's got in writing. So does it help to sell if I'm Scottish? No, it just helps you've got to stand out. There's a million others like you who have all the same ideas. Let's not pretend that, we're unique. That's a sad thing about this industry. You've just got to really believe in your idea and get it out there. But I've got a point to raise about that.
Oh my God. We've got 6 minutes left.
Sorry. All right, go on.
No,
I'll let you steer it.
I want to hear this point. Tell me.
Okay, I think the biggest flaw that anybody can make in this industry is selling your soul and being naive and trusting people. Trust no one. Sorry, Yana.
I agree. I actually agree.
You can come up. Okay, the worst thing that you can ever experience is I've come up with ideas, and I potato you not. I came up with an idea called a very special, and it was about celebrity special constables. I pitched that about 8 or 9 years ago, all over the UK, and one of the production companies that I pitched it to made it just 2 or 3 years ago for a UK broadcasting. Now that's coincidental, absolutely. People have lots of the same ideas, but you've got to be very protective of your IP. It's the most important thing you own. Don't just give it out there. And that's what I did, because I wanted to get into TV because it's like, glam and glitz and, big cocktail parties.
Obviously.
No, yeah. So the one thing I would just say is don't send your idea to anybody and everybody. Instead, get into bed, not literally, or if you like each other, get into bed with a producer that's reputable and that you know and that you like, or get really, really friendly with a production company, an established, reputable production company, then give them your ideas and drip feed them. Don't just go, blah, because they won't even, like the execs, they won't just read all these formats or pitches. They'll just go, they want things that stand out. Yana, you and I work together on a lot of things, and we drink wine and forget them all. That's why we need notepads.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that what you have to do here is just you have to find someone that you trust, that you like. You never work with anybody that you don't like, because this is a really tough game if you don't get along with people.
I agree.
And keep your ideas together, and then just trust them only to get your ideas out for you. But yeah, be protective, because it's a horrible, horrible world.
It is. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Actually, we've got a few comments here from those who have been in this situation. We've had people who say that they've had ideas stolen. Many people who've had their ideas stolen. We've got people saying, trust no one. Yeah. Alison says, hello from a fellow Scot in Sydney. That's nice.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. But the trust issue is so hard, because you can't get your ideas out there if you don't share them.
You've got to balance it off. I'm a great believer of 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Okay, so you will have to take some element of risk, but that's why, I'm in Singapore. Every time I come back to Sydney, we meet, we drink, and we share ideas. And then you go off and then, sell them or don't sell them. I think you've just got to find someone that you feel comfortable in sharing those ideas and developing them with. I mean, we've had lots of conversations where that's a great idea, but that wouldn't work here because of X, Y, and Z. And have you thought about, A, B, and C? I just think, I think it's my police background, maybe my Scottish pessimism, my mother. I just don't like to trust people, because it's a dog-eat-dog world there. And I have to say, sadly, Australia is one of the more kind of vicious markets. It's very protective.
Highly protective, highly competitive.
Yes. And I've been shot down. I've met up with one really amazing production company, but I got, are you allowed to say cock-blocked?
Well, you've said it, so...
Hey! And basically, during this meeting, I was just showing, trying to get a foot into the door. And the guy just shot me down on every single one. And I couldn't get past this one EP that just, he was obviously scared of his own job, which he subsequently lost 4 months later, and has had 4 jobs since. And that's 3 years ago. So that's nice to know. But you have to be protective, and just don't shotgun. You have to really know who you're sending your ideas to.
That is, I've spoken to a few people in the industry this last week, and I'm getting that sense of mistrust and instability, and I think that's just the headline of the world at the moment. People aren't trusting each other. How does that, so obviously we don't want to discourage people from putting themselves out there. What I do know is that the pitch is only ever as good as you. And you did say that dynamism, the sales techniques, your personality can push that pitch into something doable, workable.
But maybe that's the police background, and maybe salespeople have the same kind of ability to deal with rejection. In my past life, I had to deal with people that didn't really want to talk to me and get them to do things they didn't necessarily want them to do. I was a nice cop, though, I promise you. But yeah, I think you have to have the ability to get over rejection, and you have to have the go, get up and go to push on, push forward.
100%, 100%. And so where are you at the moment?
I'm leaving the industry.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
I think it's too much stress. Right now, okay, I know that you've only got a minute or two left. So I joined very naively. I thought it was very much what it wasn't. And I started coming up with great ideas, and I loved it. I was very passionate about it. But then I kind of realized that TV the content that I was starting to make, and the content that people were watching, was all sponsor driven. It was all, here we are in the middle of, the ancient rainforest of Malaysia to see this very rare rhino, and, cut to a scene of getting there in a, Subaru diesel SUV, just so you could show the show sponsor. And I kind of just got disheartened. And so I took a break when I had the kid, and then I dipped myself into more honest advertising marketing. Even that's nonsense. So yeah, I'm now still dabbling on the TV side of things, still writing kids content because that's where my heart and my life is. But yeah, I'm training to be a teacher now.
This is exactly where you should be.
Well, it's entertainment, it's education. I think the police has taught me how to deal with little shits. And sorry, I said a bad word again.
Oh my God.
And then TV has taught me how to convey a message in an educational way. And so teaching, yeah, I think it's just evolution. But yeah, TV's hard. It's great when it goes great. It's the best job in the world ever. But it's tough. Right now, I think it's a little bit. I've been in it for 10 years. I know that's not a long time. I know the people you've had on before me are, those are juggernauts in the industry. I'm just surprised I'm even talking to you.
Come on, yeah, seriously, let's not play this down. I think everything you've shared with us today has been absolute gold. These insights aren't easy to access. So, seriously, it's a huge thanks to you.
Glad to have been of help. I think, I think so. Maybe, I started to think too much about it. I started to become too conscientious or too noble for the industry. I think that maybe the best advice I can give is don't be precious. If you have to change any element of your format just to get it over the line, change it. Don't worry about it. It just leads on to another format that you'll be able to make with much more ease. Or people will go, you're the person that came up with that. Can you make this for us? You can have free reign. So I think TV is great fun. It doesn't pay as much as I thought, and it's definitely more work than the police. But yeah, it's good. I've created game shows. Who can say that?
Well,
game show creators.
Yeah, game show creators. Yeah. Look, I can't thank you enough. What a joy to talk to you and hear your insights. I hope you. I know you're still working a little bit with Bloomtime Media. Thank God. We have a stellar development executive, hopefully, doing a little bit of work with us. I hope. Sorry, was I allowed to say that?
Anyway. No, you're absolutely allowed to say that. No, I see. So I study in the morning, and then the rest of the day is mine and the kids. I just think that it's nice to be at a place where I can dip my toes in when I want, rather than have to worry about the next job and paycheck. I think that's a very, very special place to be in, actually.
I have been in that space. I've been in the industry for 25 years, and I have, during and throughout those years, felt the pain and despair and terror and fear of where the next paycheck's coming from. Can I pay my bills? Can I have a roof over my head? And that sort of self-doubt that you feel when you're in between contracts. It's a horrific feeling. However, I don't want to, put anyone off, because the truth is, it is a wonderful experience. That's why I keep going back to it. That's why I'm still making telly. I find it absolutely fascinating. It juices me up. It's food for my soul. And I love entertaining people. I love creating things that entertain, educate, inform. I think we've got a responsibility to rebuild this beautiful industry of ours. Maybe it's a question of, hopefully the narcissism will reduce. I don't know. Maybe the working environments will improve. Let's hope. But that's why we need good people to join the industry.
Yes, I think you're spot on. I think that maybe every industry, not just the TV and media, will reevaluate itself after COVID-19. I think that, if there's ever going to be a time, it's now. It certainly needs it.
Now is the time. Lindsay Vine, creator of Fabulous Creations, development executive producer, soon-to-be teacher of small children.
Yes.
What a wonderful experience to have you here. Stay out of the heat. Watch for dengue fever. Be safe. Thank you so much.
Love you. Thanks, Yana.
Thank
And
you.
goodbye, everyone.
Good luck. Good luck with everything. Wow, that was the Lindsay Vine. Very sweary man. He's very sweary, but that's what we call passion. That's what we call passion, and that's why I'm gonna. No, I'm joking. I won't swear. See, and those of you that know me know I would never utter a naughty word. Why are you? Why is everyone laughing? That's not funny. All right, so guys, we're just about to wrap up. I want to let you know a little bit about what's coming up. We have a few more spots on the Platinum TV Producers course, which is a 2-day course. This is something different to what I discussed last week. So this is a full intensive, full days, 10 till 5, 2 days, Thursday and Friday of next week. So if you're interested, we'll put the little link in this post. I'd love to see you there. It's a nice little intimate setting. You'll meet industry leaders. You will learn the tips and tricks of how to become a TV producer. It'll give you some skills and tools to enter the industry, get your CV polished up. You'll understand how content is actually made on the ground. So it will prepare you for all those things that we've talked about today, all of those scary and challenging things that television presents. But I tell you, it's one hell of a life. Anyway, so if you want to join us, a couple of spots left. I'll include the link. Tickets are on Eventbrite. Also, we have an introduction to interview skills, story development, and casting. That's just like a 2-hour gig across 2 days. So that's July 1st, 2nd. That's a Wednesday and Thursday. Sorry, I will stop babbling in a minute. We will be covering how to conduct the perfect interview. So if you're upskilling, if you're an associate producer and you want to get yourself into producer position, this could be ideal for you. If you're a content creator, perhaps you're creating online content, want to know how to get the best out of your guests, this could be good. Also, keys to casting and story development. Tickets available also soon. We'll give you all that information. So get in touch, bloomtimemedia.com. Email me, drop a line. It's so lovely to hear from you. All these beautiful messages. Thank you so much, Megan. She's reminding us of this wonderful phrase. If you can't dazzle with your brilliance, dazzle with your bull. Yep. That's the way. That is the legendary Lindsay Vine who has imparted this fantastic knowledge. So next week we have a very special guest. I can't tell you who it is because it's a secret. You'll have to find out. See, I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert. That's a little teaser for you. So look, all that remains to say is, check out the YouTube channel. Get me. We got a YouTube channel. It's a Bloomtime Media YouTube channel. I'm sure you'll find it by searching Bloomtime Media. So if you've missed any episodes, we've uploaded those. Thank you. Huge thank you to Tara Johnson, Bloomtime Media production assistant and development researcher. Thank you so much to our supporters who've been watching weekly. Keep coming back. I'm loving it. I hope you are too. And of course, huge thanks to the Lindsay Vine. Have a wonderful week. Wine o'clock.